Let's just get right into it. Man, what a game you had versus Northwestern. The TFL's the Sags. Did you prepare differently for this game, or what do you think happened?
I just broke out. I ain't prepared no different. Just went into it with high confidence and just played ball.
What do you think, like in the scheme-wise, was different? Or you think it was just your time? You think it was just time to break out?
I got more comfortable playing. I felt comfortable playing in Northwestern. I just felt different, so I think it was just my time.
And their mindset is they want to destroy the guy in front of them.
That's the biggest thing in football.
When we're in there in the trenches, that's everyone's mindset.
Yeah.
So there's no such thing as not giving it your all every play. Oh, this guy took a play off. This guy didn't take no play off, man.
As an athlete, as a guy who runs a 4.6 and squats 500 pounds, how many times? Do you feel like it adds a new element to your game when you're able to jump around and put offensive linemen in situations where they got to be athletic with you?
Yeah, definitely. It definitely does. I feel like when I'm moving, shouldn't no old lineman be able to stick with me, and if they are, then I got to use something else.
All right, everybody, big news coming out of the Lions Den podcast. We officially have our own merch that we're getting ready to put out. Make sure to go cop yours. Link is in the description below. These proceeds help us produce this podcast, bring on A-list guests, and these proceeds also help Penn State NIL as a whole. Go get yours and tag us on social media. We'll give you a shout out on the pod. Looking forward to seeing you wearing the Lions Den merch exclusively.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the Lions Den podcast, episode 6, featuring Zane Durant with my guys Nick Dawkins and Aeneas Hawkins. About to get it going. Yes, sir.
I love this. I love the Jerry Cross introduction. I think it sets the tone for the episode. I just got our boy Zane Durant on here by way of Orlando, Florida, Lake Nona. Hey, take me through, let's just get right into it. Man, what a game you had versus Northwestern. The TFL's the Sags. Did you prepare differently for this game, or what do you think happened? You just broke out?
I just broke out. I ain't prepared no different. Just went into it with high confidence and just played ball.
What do you think, like in the scheme-wise, was different? Or you think it was just your time? You think it was just time to break out? And you think, just how you prepared?
I think it was just my time. I got more comfortable playing. I felt comfortable playing in Northwestern. I just felt different, so I think it was just my time.
And we talked about you last episode. We were talking about how with stars and everything that goes on, stars don't matter. You got a lot of PT, a lot of burn your freshman year. Have you felt like your playing strength and just your intelligence of the game changed over the years now?
Yeah, it definitely has. My last year, I got in a lot, but I really didn't know what's going on. This year, being with experience, playing a lot, I'm starting to understand the game more on the offensive side of the ball, so it's helping me make plays on defense.
And people don't know, who were your hosts when you got here? Like, who got you to Penn State? You can chalk it up to the coach, you can chalk it up to you want, but who got you here?
Yeah, man, my dog Hulk.
Come on now.
Man, we got
Come on now.
And boy landed me.
What do you think separates us as recruiters, from hosts? What separates us from the norm? You know what I mean? What got you here?
Yeah. I'll say the honesty, to be honest. Other schools, I ain't gonna send no names or anything like that, but they tried to sell me something, the player trying to sell me something. It just didn't seem right. Y'all just kept it 100, told me what it was. And then if I want to do it, it was on me. So.
And do you emulate your play style to Hawks? Do you think you guys are similar?
No, not at all.
So what's the difference between y'all two? What would you say the difference is between y'all two?
I'm just faster, I'm stronger.
Smarter and taller.
You're not taller. We're not doing that. You're not taller. We're not doing that. Listen, first of all, we'll get back to that because that's crazy that you would come in here, you know what I'm saying, and disrespect my athletic career like that. That's number one. Number two, on the note of when we hosted you, I got a quick story there. Coach Scott, I know it's a recruiting weekend, people coming up. It's my senior year. I'm sitting on the couch at the yards at Old State. My phone starts ringing. It's Coach Scott. I already know what he's finna ask me to do. Asked me to host a recruit, so I declined the first call. Don't answer it. I say, hey, I'm in class. He says, call me back now. And I answer the phone. So I call him. He didn't care what class I was in. So I call him back. And I'm sitting on the couch. It was a lie. I'm like, what's up, man? He said, listen, Hawk, I know you're a senior now and you don't want to host recruits, but we got this young guy, this Zane Durant, and we got to get him on campus and we need you to host him. I'm like, hey, I can't do it. I'm visiting family tonight. Another lie. He said, don't care. Zane will be here in 2 hours, need you at the dinner. Pull up, meet my guy, Zane. And we've been cool ever since, bro. It's been cool to see you find a bunch of success early on, man.
I don't know if the viewers have caught on to this. With two things with Hawk. One, we brag, we jag on him and everything, but he is an elite athlete. Hawk was an elite athlete. Anyone commenting probably can't win a one-on-one rep versus him. He's locking him out.
You won't win a one-on-one rep with me.
He was a Division I athlete. But two, the second thing, This guy is a liar. I don't know why. I don't know what. I'm visiting family on a weekday. What is there to believe about that? This is the worst one I ever heard. I'm like, yo, Hawk, can you come out? Let's do something. Like, He's like, yeah, I got a family reunion on Zoom. A family reunion on Zoom. Yeah. But he gets to the point where once he's into it, he then now believes it too. Yeah. So he probably thought he actually had one at that point.
I'm a quick thinker. Once I give you one, most people, that's where they struggle at with doing those. I only lie when I don't want to do something. Like you said.
So you're a compulsive liar.
I'm not sure what the definition of a compulsive liar is, so I'm not going to give you a yes or no, but there's potential. There's potential. I want to get back, though, to what Doc kind of alluded to. You played a lot as a freshman. Mm-hmm. And whether or not you knew what you were doing, it takes a different type of guy to come in and be able to contribute immediately. Mm-hmm. I remember when I left and you would come in, Coach Franklin and I had a discussion about you. I'm like, hey, how's my guy Zane doing? He's like, the kid works hard, great athlete. I don't know what's funny about that. I don't know what I said that was funny.
He's a D-line consultant.
I'm just checking in on the vet, checking in on the young guys. Either way, the narrative around you immediately was your work ethic, your athleticism, and all those things. Take me back to when you were a young guy and your mindset coming into the program that allowed you to find success immediately.
Yeah, first thing I want to do when I step foot on campus is earn everybody respect. So controlling what I could control. We didn't have pads at the time, so all I could control was my work ethic, how I go about everything, having a positive attitude, just trying to bring everybody up in the locker room.
You talk about bringing everybody up in the locker room. One thing that brings me up anytime I talk to a Florida guy, the Florida lingo, the Florida accents. I don't remember what let's actually get into this because I remember sitting on the couch, one of the first conversations we had, we're watching a highlight tape.
Yeah.
And then it's real quiet. It's me, Doc, you, and all of a sudden you let me know that jit on the screen is twerking. I don't know what that means. I still don't know what that means. So walk me through that as a Florida resident.
So jit twerking is used like somebody chirping, or he probably hit a move on somebody and made a jit twerk. That mean like made him fall, broke his ankle type deal.
Right.
Yeah.
What is a jit though? What is a jit?
Yeah, what is a jit?
It's anything you want it to be.
Oh, okay.
Jit is jit like John then? Like how they kind of use it in Philly?
I don't know about no John. I don't know about that.
Oh, yeah, you only know John as a name. Okay. So, like, that right over there, we have Caleb Artis in the building. So, that jit over there, Caleb Artis, he's a jit.
Is jit twerking right now?
Nah, jit twerking over there?
Jit's not twerking.
Jit's vibing.
Jit vibing. All right.
Do you think that you have an accent? Like, when you're in the locker room, you like everyone else has an accent. You're good. Like, you're the girl in the green.
No, nobody got an accent, I don't think.
No. You don't hear it in yourself. You're not I'm good. Like, I'm like jit's twerking. Like, we're good.
No, I don't know what that.
You come from Florida. You're in central Pennsylvania, and it doesn't take a genius to be able to tell you that it gets a little bit chillier here in central PA. Yeah. Talk about the transition, not just from the weather perspective, but being so far from home. I know you got a great family. I got to meet them on your official, and talk to me about that experience.
Transition to the cold wasn't that bad for me. It was tough.
That's camp.
I haven't been there. It wasn't that bad, to be honest, because I wanted to be here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, like, when you want to be somewhere, you want to do whatever to be there. You know what I'm saying? I was enjoying the moment, taking it day by day. And, it was fun for me.
What was your first reaction to snow like? How was that?
I threw a snowball at my mom when I got off the plane. First day. And then later that day, I slipped on black ice. So,
okay. Was that your first snow?
Yeah, you had the full snow experience then.
Yeah.
That's nuts. So you hadn't seen snow until you were 17, 18.
Yeah, top 17.
That's crazy, man. That's
a different world. When he saw it was weaponize it.
Right. He was like, hey, let me attack my mom. Now I got the chance.
I've been seeing it on movies. They be throwing snowballs and stuff like that.
That's an experience, man. You deserve to be able to do that.
And you would say Jerry Cross took you under his wing once you got here.
No, I ain't that.
Jerry, you did say, as soon as he said that he handled the cold well, you said cap under your breath. I heard that.
Yeah, because, like, when we first got here, like, Zane, he never seen snow. He never knew what the cold really was. Mm-hmm. So it'll get, like, I remember spring ball. You know, spring ball get a little chilly, about 45 degrees, 50 degrees. He come out with long sleeve, like, I'm cold. Like, I ain't practicing today. Like, that's the one thing he always said. He said if it get under, like, 50 degrees, he's not practicing. He not going to play, he said. So that's why I said he capping, because realistically, he can't handle the cold. I feel like now he adjusting to it better, but, like, back then he couldn't really.
That's a big adjustment.
Yeah, it was tough.
That's a big adjustment.
But it wasn't that bad outside of football, though.
No.
It's just the football part.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, the coldest mornings, are the ones where you get up at 4 a.m. and you walk to Haluba Hall.
No.
And you know it's a winter workout time.
No.
And you got Devon Lee standing next to you, rapping Drake at 4:15.
No.
You can see your breath. And you want to know how cold it gets.
Yeah,
Man, I would say the morning locker room is a time matrix. Because you have one guy in there that didn't even go home. He slept in the facility. So he's ready. He's ready. You got one guy that did that. You have another guy who has his blanket on. He didn't even bother to put clothes on. He's walking around in a blanket. Yep. See, whatever happens to him happens. Then you got a whole corner conversation of guys talking about politics or whatever is going on.
Yep.
There's a political debate going on in the corner at 4:30 in the morning. Yep. And then you have Devon Lee's in the middle of the locker room getting down and or rapping some sort of Drake. And that's just like the Penn State scene. And that's just the normal.
It's every day. I mean, you got so many different groups in there. What group would you say you are more like in the morning? Where are you at in the group? Are you quiet? Are you being loud with Devon and the gang in the corner dancing?
Okay, so when I first got here, I was quiet. But this past winter workout session, I was the energy giver.
Energy giver.
Yeah, I came out loud. Yeah, talking my trash.
He loves to dance. Zane is a big dancer.
Oh, you can dance a little bit.
No, I can't. He lying to you.
He lying. Dawkins never lied to me in years, man.
Jerry.
He can definitely.
Jerry. Does he not dance? Does he not dance all the time in the locker room?
Dance, rap, sing.
Oh, you're
Rod Wave though. He sing Rod Wave regardless.
Okay.
Rob, my dog, though. Shout out to him.
I don't know why he's not claiming it, but just know, like, this guy is consistently, like, busting some sort of move. Like, it's
at all times.
Ridiculous. Yeah, at all times.
Yeah, that's insane. So when you performed, like, you know, so for the viewers back home don't know this, when you're a freshman, maybe we've talked about this before.
We did talk about it.
But you got a dancer sing in front of the team, and it's like this, for me, a guy who can't dance or sing, it's like the most intimidating factor of Penn State football. What did you dance to?
Oh, I sung.
You sung?
Yeah.
What you sing?
Rod Wave, Sky Priority.
Can we hear a little bit of that? Or?
Nah. I didn't practice for it.
You gotta warm up a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
So now you're on campus, you're getting to it, winter workouts are going on, you're getting your first spring ball. What do you think was the hardest adjustment for you?
I'll say that playbook, to be honest with you. The game is the game. Only thing different is they're bigger and they're faster, but that playbook made it way faster. Like, you didn't know what was going on. You know what they were doing, so I was kind of lost out there a little bit.
And you had a strong spring too. I remember the coaches were all hype on what you were doing, especially from a pass rush standpoint, and still from a pass rush standpoint. What do you think your mentality is now that has led you to be so good at that?
Yeah, so I came in being a natural pass rusher. I was a defensive end in high school. Most people didn't know that. So I moved to D tackle here, and that was a tough transition because that's learning a whole new technique, whole new position. So I did that. My freshman year, I kept my pass rushing ability, but I just didn't know how to stop the run. So I didn't know the technique, the hand placement, and footwork for all that. So this past year, all season, I've been working to improve myself in the run game.
And running back too in high school as well, right?
Yeah, running back.
You remember any of your numbers at running back?
I had like maybe 6 carries for like 100 yards, something like that.
Oh, so you were averaging.
I wasn't
6 carries for 100 yards?
Yeah, I wasn't running like that. Maybe
that's
80
crazy,
or something
though.
like that. I wasn't running that much.
6 carries, 100 yards. That's wild. That's like mad numbers.
Why did they not give you the ball more? If I got a guy,
Sounds like bad
Six carries, 100 yards.
I was gassed.
Had to get this guy the ball more.
You know what I'm saying?
No, talk to me about Coach Diaz though. Like, what has he done for you, like throughout your college career so far, and also like in the recruiting process? What would you say?
Coach Diaz my dog, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all know that. Back in Miami when I was taking my official visit, I committed to Miami and to Coach Diaz before he came up here. He's cool with my family, like a family guy, family oriented. So my mom loved him, my dad loved him, my sisters loved him. Whole family loved him really. So when he made that transition up here, it really felt like more of a reason to stay up here when he announced that he's coming to Penn State.
We laugh and joke about it, and Penn State obviously is a great place. You came here for a reason, but there are other really good programs and other coaches that you might fall in love with on the recruiting visit, like when you're a young guy. So you kind of get the best of both worlds with Manny having come from the school you were committed to Penn State. Now you get Franklin and Diaz every day. And let's also add Deion Barnes. You talk about having to play the run and hand placement and feet and all these things. You got to play with Coach Scott too. But in my opinion, Coach Scott does a great job. The thing that Deion really does a good job of is relating to his players, but then also he's technical. Like, you're going to learn a bunch playing for him. How big has he been in your process so far?
Yeah, he's been hard on us. He wants perfection every rep. So it's been a challenge, but I'm up for a challenge because I want to win. So I think it's been a good transition for us.
You seem very certain about things. You said, it was cold, but I wanted to be here. Coach Barnes pushes us, but I want to win. You seem determined. You seem focused. What does that come from?
I say how I'm raised. My dad always told me, like, if you want something, you got to go do it. No matter what's going on, don't change your mind, stick with it.
Shout out my guy, Marcus Durant, by the way. That is my dog right there, man.
Hey, there was a side, Jim, in what you was talking about, though. I would say you guys got to, and this is for, like, recruits out there, even parents, too, you have to keep those relationships with them coaches, man. Mm-hmm. Even when I came here, so I signed my letter of intent, and O-line coach at the time was Coach Limegrover. He was no longer there after that. So then Coach Troutwine came on to be an offensive line coach who had offered our whole entire O-line class coming in from Boston College. Still had a good relationship with him. So there was no kind of any awkwardness or any kind of trouble when I got here because I already had a relationship with Coach Troutwine. So you have to keep those relationships and mend those bridges or anything, any distaste. Because at the end of the day, the recruiting process is just their job, the coaches and everything like that. There's no ill will or ill intent with it. If you did pass on you, they don't take you. It's just a greater scheme of things. So maintain those relationships because you never know how the coaching turntable works out.
Definitely.
Hakeem Beamon, Devon Elise, two older guys in that D tackle room. I think with Hakeem specifically, it's easy to draw some similarities from an athletic standpoint as a D tackle. How have those guys helped you as a younger player continue to get better?
Yeah, so mindset-wise, both of those guys being there just teaching me the Penn State way of thinking, how to go about things. They helped me a lot. And Hakeem, every drill, every station, I'm always going to get so we give my best work. Competing in speed drills, weightlifting, anything like that. I'm always competing with Hakeem with.
Yeah, it makes complete sense to me. Hakeem Beamon is an athletic freak. That dude can run, quick, athletic. Yeah. For the people who don't know, you may not look at Zane Durant and think that he's lightning fast, but tell him your 40 times, Zane. Go ahead.
I ran a 4.62 this past spring.
4.62 at what body weight?
285.
That is insane.
Yeah. Freaks, man. And then people be looking at the screen like, yeah, I could probably. And like the D tackle, like, why did D tackle get him? Because we got other cats running like 4.2s, man.
No doubt, man.
That's how it breaks down.
How much you squat do?
I think I did 555 for like 5 in spring or summer. Something like that. Man,
my squatted a smart car a couple times, man. Just got up out of there.
Something like, man, not even.
Yeah, something like.
The weight room, now look at the weight room. I think this offseason was even just with Coach Losey and Coach Smith, the D-line went crazy this offseason. You think there was a different mentality switch there? What do you think was different this offseason that led to guys like you, Denai, Chop, just making so much gains and strides in the weight room?
I'll say for me and Denai, specifically because we came in as freshmen, we really didn't know what to expect coming in. But now, like, we kind of understand. So when we lifted, we lift with more attention and more purpose, like, to get bigger. As a whole D-line, I think we just knew what we wanted. We want to be more dominant this year, so we all attacked the weight room and some workouts hard this year.
And nutrition-wise, too, you added on a couple pounds since you got here, and all in good places, too.
Yeah.
How would you say nutrition has changed?
It's changed a lot. In high school, I used to eat gummies and juice and stuff like that. But I eat gummies every here and there, but it's mostly protein, chicken, and stuff like that.
Which recruits, hey, get your meals in while you can now. Yeah. Like, you can only get so many hometown cooked meals, home-cooked meals. Man. Once you're at school, man, it don't get like that anymore, man. You got to get that food in while you can at home.
Yeah.
Because now...
Well, I was just going to say, I think no matter the quality of food, we could have steak and lobster every day at Penn State. And even so, it's like, you just can't replace what your mom was in there
it's
cooking.
Still not the same. It'll never be the same. Especially if your granny cooking for you.
And we have debates, too, man, because, like, guys swear that their food, where they're from, is the best.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tyler Elson. I went home with him one time and had food from his area, not his mom's cooking, a restaurant in his area. No good, man. I'll be honest. Some guys got to stop lying about where they're
What's the name of the place?
Now, look, it's breakfast. Okay, I'm not gonna, go down on the place. I'm not gonna say anything bad about the business. But I would say is we went in there, and the menu was inscribed into the table. So that menu hasn't changed for a long time. So I'm thinking, okay, we're good. Because they've been established for a long time. Elvis is looking around weary-eyed. I'm like, okay, maybe we're not good. And it's breakfast.
It's like an old diner type.
Yes, exactly. I'm like, you can't really mess up breakfast.
You should have known,
like, nah, it's breakfast. You know what I mean? I don't know anyone who can, Yeah. So I get some French toast and they bring it out, and I'm like, it tastes like I cooked it. And that's not when I'm going out to the restaurant. That's not what I'm trying to get into.
It's not what you're
more specifically for breakfast, because I'm a big breakfast guy. Shout out to Waffle Shop, North Averton, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. You'll see me there at 10:30 a.m.
Tell them about Texas Roadhouse.
Okay, so we talked about in the first episode, we actually shifted our days to Thursdays now, Texas Roadhouse. So obviously PJ's retired from that. He's on the bigger and better things. So me and Tyrell's and hold it down with a new addition of Riley Thompson, the punter, Australian Aussie. He's a big beef tip guy. He's a huge advocate for the beef tip. So he goes in every Thursday and gets those. I'm a state guy. Ellis is a state guy. We go every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. after our practice. But right now I'm showing a little extra love to the Waffle Shop, man, because they take care of us in there. It's the best breakfast. I put you two on to the one on North Atherton.
No, you did.
This guy is a pancake monster. I think I seen this guy slam like 8 pancakes in one sitting, which I didn't. I was doubting him. I didn't think he was capable of doing what he did.
Do not
but it was
doubt.
somewhat ridiculous. Yeah, I will never doubt. Do not doubt too. I will never ever go down on what he said again, because he tore up 8 pancakes in one sitting and rather swiftly too.
8 pancakes is
That's
insane.
wow.
It's not that bad.
That's not that bad.
Yeah, it's not.
That's not normal at all. Real quick, I'm glad you brought this up because I went there last week actually to the North Atherton Waffle Shop. I sit down and I get a coffee. I'm hanging out. The waitress comes out and she's like, "Do you play football?" I'm like, "No, I don't play football." She was like, "Well, there's this kid that, he's always here and we love him. His name's Nick Dawkins, blah, blah, blah." And it was like you were the Beatles in that place. That's how much you're in there. Wow. You must be giving him a lot of bread, man.
Wow.
I'm a big guy for financial, personal finance and financial literacy. I'm always preaching to the guys. One of my expenses that I write out, every month, every week, there's a Waffle Shop expense.
Do you care to share how much that expense is?
So I'll say it like this. So usually when I go by myself, it's usually $17.84. Okay. And you multiply that by 3 people at home. You got the calculators on you. I'm not doing that right now. So we do that 3 times a week, sometimes 4. Now me and Tyler Ellison take turns paying for each other. So usually me and him would just go. We're adding Drew Shelton. We're adding Don Ridley to the occasion now. So now we got 4 people going
more money
consistently. Yeah, I'm not covering the whole table now. I'm not that big of a baller. Okay. I'm not Zane Durant. I don't got that kind of fun. So
you got a Cuban link though. Talk to me about that.
What are you talking about? See,
you were supposed to bring the evidence.
Yeah, you were supposed to bring the evidence.
You have to
talk to me about it. You talk to me about
the
it.
evidence.
Where is it?
You are the evidence.
No, that's what I'm saying.
No, he doesn't have evidence at all.
So this guy doesn't have evidence at all. See, and this is what I'm saying. People make allegations all the time. People are trying to, downplay dog. They're trying to put all these false pretenses on me. I don't have a Cuban link. I've never been to Cuba. I don't have any link. I don't know how to link.
The Louis V duffel bag. How about that?
The what?
The Louis V duffel bag.
Nick
I borrowed that from
Nick Dawkins might have the best fashion on the team when you want to. When you want to dress up, your wardrobe is extensive. I live with you, and you have some good finds in your closet. Let's keep it a stack.
Yeah,
I don't know anything about Cuban links.
That's how Zane Durant is.
Are you the same way?
Yeah, you got.
I don't know what he talking about.
It's crazy. It's just amazing how NIL has changed the landscape of things, man. Because my wardrobe to this day, I was just saying off the air, I'm having a hard time doing this podcast because I'm running out of clothes I haven't worn on an episode. And I don't have NIL money. You understand what I'm saying to you? So if there are any, clothing departments, companies, small businesses who want to invest and help me with my hoodie collection, get me some new jeans, I'm all about it, man. Follow me on Instagram at HawkSauce.
Yeah, all right. This guy's already plugging, trying to get free stuff. Let's be honest, though. You talked about, you see my closet. You see what I have and what I got going on. Would you, on the record, say that you have taken some of my clothes before and not returned them?
I got a Scarface hoodie in my car right now. Green. It's my favorite hoodie, ironically.
Okay.
Now, maybe I've taken some things, but at the same time, we had a program in place where I would go out and about with my friends when we had off days, and I would text Doc, "Hey, not trying to spend $300 on a going outfit. What you got in the closet?"
Which, where are you going out to that you need $300 for a fit? Where are you at?
But this is my point. Literally, all I had in my closet before NIL was Penn State gear. That was it. If the team issued it, if they didn't issue it, I didn't have it.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Now guys got Cuban links and Range Rovers.
Oh. Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I see exactly what you're saying.
Yes.
I need him. I need the people at home to understand that, I had these clothes before NIL. We were in the same time period. So this is not a valid excuse for what he's talking about right now. We used to do hawk and dog talk on the couch. We were in the same financial standing. So I'm not trying to hear that respectfully, but it is what it is. I'll let him rock. I let him do what he does. Rock his graphic tees. I respect it.
I got this from Walmart for $6.99. Understand that? Either way, let's get back to the point here. Zane, finding a bunch of success. The defensive line is electric to watch. From the outside looking in, you guys had, 7 sacks against Northwestern. I think it was 16 TFLs, the front 7 put together. That culture, that attitude, that swagger that you guys are playing with, what does that stem from?
It just stem from wanting to be the best in the nation. We talk about it all the time in practice. Going against the offensive line, they help us get better every day. So when we go against any other opponent, we feel like nobody can match us.
You feel like nobody can match you. The confidence that comes from having a guy like Kalen King behind you, the safety room, Johnny Dixon, who's a guy that we don't talk about enough, who is a legit NFL corner.
Correct.
Do you feel like Florida jit twerking?
No, you can't be saying all that. You can't say jit. Leave it at jit.
My fault. But do you feel like there's an extra layer of confidence with the secondary you got behind you when you play?
Yeah, definitely, man. So we all work off each other. So say we mess up on a play, I feel like in the back end, they're going to help us get it all right with a pick or something like that.
Yeah. And, Doc, again, we got a D lineman also. I'm going to ask you, you guys are battling, I would assume, almost every day to an extent. How have you seen Zane develop from year one to year two?
And just what he talked about before, I mean, his run game fit is very different from how it was when he first got here. He knows his leverage. Zane plays with great leverage. He can get to extension in the run game. In the pass game, I think his strength's always been he can get your edge. He's real good at getting the hip and reading the hands of offensive linemen, which is underplayed. Some of that stuff is just natural, I feel like, with him. Because obviously there's a skill, you drill it, you work it. But I think he naturally sees the game a little slower. I think now that he's getting older, he's starting to see it slower. Would you agree too?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he's starting to see that veteran, what veterans see, that veteran IQ. Mm-hmm. And I think when he's playing good, the guys around him are playing good too. Because people don't understand with defensive line play, you're setting up, you do your job, you really set up a linebacker to make a play. Mm-hmm. Or you're doing your job, you're setting up a DN to make a play on a T or an ET or something like that. So I think his recognition of the defense and his recognition of just football IQ and offensive line play has just grown.
Yeah, and you talk about football IQ. We talked about the playbook already, and that being a big adjustment when you got here. Manny Diaz, if you haven't been paying attention, it's like almost every play, there's some type of pressure coming from somewhere. It's a D lineman stunting to this gap and somebody looping here. And as an athlete, as a guy who runs a 4.6 and squats 500 pounds, how many times? Do you feel like it adds a new element to your game when you're able to jump around and put offensive linemen in situations where they got to be athletic with you?
Yeah, definitely. It definitely does. I feel like when I'm moving, so no old lineman be able to stick with me, and if they are, then I got to use something else to defeat them.
No doubt about it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, I mean, I completely agree. At the end of the day, man, we got to call a spade. And Coach Troutwine says it all the time. We need to use angles because we're not as athletic as, there are some freaks out there. There's some freak offensive linemen like, wait, why'd you just raise your hand? There's some real actual athletic freaks out there that play offensive line, like Olu out there. Like Olu, he's different. There's some guys that are different out there, right? But realistically, we have to use angles in order to beat guys like Zane. Like they have natural speed. So how do we beat speed? We beat speed with angles. So when you have a guy like that, though, that you need to change up your technique and change up, how you set on somebody because they have that threat of speed, a vertical speed rush up front, or just maybe even in the twist game, being able to loop around a tackle. That's a game plan for OC. That's a nightmare. It's a matchup nightmare when you have guys like that.
Yeah, and on the defensive side, when you're a guy who knows you are like this, another guy, OA was like this with he's a 4-3 guy as a DM, which is unheard of. Mm-hmm. You know that O-linemen have to set differently. You know that they have to play you different in the run game. They got to take different angles and different steps. Do you feel like you're at the point of your game now where you're starting to realize that and you're able to take advantage of it with the way that you align or the way you get off on the ball or whatever that may look like?
Yeah. I feel like that's the next step for me. Just trying to play with what I do, knowing that they got to change up what they do to match my play style.
Yeah, it's funny. And coaches used to say it all the time when I was playing, but playing D-line is kind of like being a pitcher. Like, you got a fastball, and like one guy's fastball might be a bull rush. One guy's fastball might be a inside move, but you better have a change up off of that for when an offensive lineman like Doc wants to take away your best part of your game.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Jerry, would you say that's the same thing in the passing game? I'm not too well versed on the passing game.
For you talking is it from a tight end aspect?
Yeah, from
blocking
route
wise,
running routes.
Blocking. For us, based on our pass game, we expect to do a lot. Like I talked to you guys before. We can change our route up mid coverage based on how the backer or safety is playing us. Looking at the corners, we go against corners, different matchups too. So it's just our routes are all based off coverage and how do we bend play. So we convert hitch versus some type of coverage. In the pass game, blocking, we expect to do the same thing that y'all do. Mm-hmm. Pass pro, stop the DN from getting to the quarterback because the pass games you probably have seen, we've been used a lot in the run game and also in the pass game from a protection standpoint. So it's pretty much the same, but just from from a running route aspect, it's just based on the coverages and everything for us.
Mm-hmm. Man, you got block the ends. Yeah. Sometimes in certain concepts, man, you got to get linebackers, you got to get D tackles, depending on what. Yeah. Maybe sometimes the pass pro breaks down. You got to help us out, man. This is how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, it's definitely like calls that you guys make that we have to alert out for a 3 technique looping out or a 4-eye looping out. Mm-hmm. So it basically, like, we expect to do everything. That's something that Coach Franklin preach all the time is. Mm-hmm. Like, at a tight end at Penn State, you have to be able to do everything at a high level to actually get on the field here. So that's something that, at our room, we look at, and we want the offense to run through us because we expect to do the most, and we want to do it at a high standard.
Absolutely. Yeah. And change the topics a little bit, Zane. So, now in your years, you're getting older and everything. Non-football related, what's one thing you've noticed over, like, this past year that you've gotten better at, just as a man in general? Like, what are you noticing you're growing at?
Yeah, I'll say just time management for me. Coming in, I felt like the days were going by so fast, I didn't know really what to do. But now I'm able to manage things a little bit different, a little bit better. Like get my laundry done, little simple things like that.
That's the little things.
Yeah. Time management is crazy,
That's
dude.
the biggest thing in college, honestly.
Figuring this stuff out, man. Martin Hall, figuring this stuff out in the apartments. Like, you got to walk over here to get your laundry done. They go over here when they're going to eat. Yeah, you got to get Mac study hall hours.
Yep.
How was that for you? Study hall just in academics too?
Yeah, man. It's going well. My study hall hours, I don't really have that much because my grades are high, so I got to get a couple hours in every week. And then, that's it.
And the college curriculum?
Yeah, it's smooth.
Yeah. What are you studying?
HDFS, Human Development and Family Studies.
Okay. Yeah. It's funny how that study hall works, man. My grades weren't where they needed to be freshman year.
Okay.
We'll just leave it at that. I got addressed in my exit meeting with Coach Franklin promptly. They were like, hey, listen, let me tell you how this works, Hawk. Okay. You can't be a C+ football player and a C+ student. It's not going to work here. You got to be good at one of them. You know what I mean? So my study hall hours, they didn't drop until the back half of my career. So I respect you being able to do that early.
Yeah.
It's not easy to do. I want to ask all three of y'all. We got a bye week now.
Yeah.
And I think if you're a viewer at home and you don't know what it really entails, you can confuse a bye week with being an off week. And that's not really what it is. So can the three of you guys, and I'll start with you, Zane, can you break down a little bit of what you guys are doing this week to continue to prepare for the next couple games? Yeah,
so this bye week, we use it just as a time to get better, get stronger, sharpen our techniques, make sure we sharp and ready for the second half of the season, and just grow as players and further our knowledge.
It's interesting, and maybe you could speak to this, Doc. When you get done with the game on Saturday, you come in Sunday, you have film on that game that you just played. You make some corrections really in a 2-3 hour window. You go out on practice, and half of the practice you spend making those corrections. But then in this world, you got to be able to move on to the next game and move on quick, which in some ways can kind of limit how much learning and adjusting you can do. So offensively, Doc, with an extensive playbook that you guys have, having some extra time to get in that playbook, does it help you guys?
Absolutely. And I think, we have extra time for UMass now to prepare for UMass. But like Zane was saying, we have time to sharpen up on our skills. And I think that's a big component to the bye week that, we don't really talk about just as a fan base or as a team really, is this is a time where we self-scout each other. Yep. Where you go back, you watch the last couple games we played and, what am I doing well at? What can I improve upon? What's an area that needs more improvement? And I think as an offensive line in particular, that's one thing we're doing. We're looking at the old game, like other games, and like maybe what's going on if our run game fits here? What's going on with our footwork? What's a kind of tendency that maybe another team's picking up on that we can eliminate and make an area of strength for us instead of an area for improvement?
I wish there was a way that we could calculate the number of hours spent on film in that Penn State football program. I mean, there are times we would leave Lash for practice. Practice would end 8, 9 o'clock, whatever it may be. We get out of there. You come back out from the study hall at 10 or 11 whenever you get done, and you see like GA's cars still parked outside or position coaches still sitting there watching film. The amount of time spent, if you're at this level, that's another thing if you're a recruit watching. This is nothing like high school football in that sense. The way you prepare, the amount of meeting time, the amount of film that you got to watch, if you actually want to accomplish the things that you say you want to, it's a different level. Jerry, do you feel like coming in, as a young guy playing limited football, that the film aspect was another factor that you didn't really understand coming into it?
Yeah, but I didn't even know what an ID was when I first got here. So it was a huge adjustment for me, especially on the offensive end. Our playbook, we have a very broad playbook. So just me having to learn all that as a tight end because we expect to know everything. So For me, it was a little adjustment. I wouldn't say it took me that long to kind of get adjusted to it because I'm kind of a fast learner. So I say probably by the time that my first spring ball was over, I was kind of like had a good grasp on the playbook and also how the things were flowing on the field as far as just reading defenses and how they play. Something that I'm still trying to get better on is just actually learning how to watch film the right way, breaking down like who I'm going against or just coverages and being able to like dissect that on defense, read defenses and just keep more in on their best players and how they move and things that they do. So that's something I'm still trying to continue to grow in.
And it's not easy to do. There's such a big difference between watching a football game just casually and then watching film. And I think more so than even people really realize, football and really understanding what's going on in that field is like speaking Chinese if you don't know how to watch film and you don't know what to look for. There's so many little tendencies and different alignments and formations and situational, all these different factors you got to account for and understand that really, if you're just watching casually, you can't catch up on.
No, that's a big challenge. And recruits, I challenge y'all to do that and start, when you're watching film, watch film like a pro. You'd be surprised the little things that guys do in games that give away a whole scheme or that give away a whole play. Like, it's crazy. Like, oh, that guy's foot is back a little, like 2 inches more. They're running power. Boom, they ran power. And you pick up on these tendencies and these patterns, and it becomes, like, you look at the greats, like Aaron Rodgers. You look at the greats like Tom Brady. They know, like, I think I always see this clip that comes back around on Twitter. It's Cam Newton, and the guy saying, okay, watch this. Audible's the play, because he already knew what the linebacker was doing based off his alignment. It's crazy the little things you can pick up on just from watching a little film and noticing things that guys do that give away a whole play.
Yeah, and just like Coach Franklin say, like he say, don't watch the game as a fan, watch it as an actual football player, and just not watching it just to watch it. So that's something I'm trying to do as well.
It's funny. You guys will see this one day. Hopefully you guys all play 15 years in the NFL, and this day is long down the line. But when I watch games now, even to this day, I'm not in meetings. It's been 2 years since I've done any of that. I watch a game, and the way I watch it is still like I'm sitting in film. Like nothing, you can't casually watch football after that because you know what to look for and you're paying attention to it. Like, I would assume as a casual fan, like your eyes are kind of, they're following the quarterback or where the ball is going. When I'm watching the game, I'm watching centers and guards and three techniques and that's why the tight end is a little bit closer inside. Here comes split flow. Like, I don't know. It's just, it's once you learn it, you don't unsee it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Another thing I want to ask you about, Zane. Chuck Losey, we kind of glossed over it. You put on significant weight in the offseason. You've gotten significantly stronger. I saw you again for the first time this summer after not seeing you for a few months, and it was noticeable how much lean mass you put on. What's that relationship with Coach Losey been like? Because I know he's a guy that, I love, a guy that a lot of players love, and they go hard for, man. And how has he been able to draw that out of you and guide you throughout this process?
Yeah, exactly what you said. I got so much respect and love for him. That's kind of why I made this transition. I just trust him with everything I do. Me and him joke a lot. We like to compete. He'll say stuff that get me going, like you slow or you weak. And I like to prove people wrong. So he know how to get me going for sure.
Talk to me, and I ask a lot of people that we have on the show about this, but college football, being a student athlete, is way too hard to just go accomplish without having a legitimate, established why. When you sit back and you think about why you put yourself through these challenges and you push yourself, you want to go accomplish and then hopefully go play in the NFL one day. And why do you do all this?
I really do this for my last name, my family. I want to represent my family well, and I do it also for the brothers in the locker room. I know they go hard every day, so I can't be the one to make a team lose or do a dumb mistake that would cost us. So I don't want to be that person.
Doc, I'll ask you because you've been there. You were there in 2021. You were there for the COVID year.
Yeah, I was.
So you've seen, the lows of Penn State football, and you've seen the flip side of it with Rose Bowl victories and a hot start, no losses. What is the difference when you talk about brotherhood in the locker room that you've seen?
Yeah, I just know that, and I have respect for the guys that, laid this foundation down for us way before. And I'm not even just talking about since I've been here. I'm talking about since forever, since we're wearing black and pink. I think just the understanding of what we do collectively, like the stuff that we put, that the coaches put us through and that we put ourselves through, and just the grind and the work that we put in together, we have to be bonded. Like, we have to be bonded at, like, I don't know how, I think we kind of view it the same, but we're all soldiers out there. And it's war. Every day on the field is war. Practice, games, it could be the weight room, it's war out there. And we go through all these tough trials and tribulations together. We witness each other's lows. We witness each other's like, you had a bad day and you still had to come in and put in the work. We witness all that together. And you just grow respect for guys. And I think that this offseason, this work that we put in, everyone just gained respect for each other because we didn't have guys tapping out of workouts. We had guys getting through. We had guys competing. We had guys exhibiting all the core values. And when you really respect the guy next to you, you have love for that guy. And I think just the work, and I can tell the work is just different that we put in this year, man. Like everyone talks about it on the team. And I think the fans are starting to feel it a little bit, but this season is just different. And this team is just different. And now that we all kind of collectively understand that and we all collectively understand our potential, I think we're trying to get to that point. We're trying to reach that potential because what good is potential if you don't do anything with it? Exactly. And we understand that there's a mission and a standard that we set for this year and for this team. And we have a bunch of winners on our team, man, just in general. Failure is not an option.
Yeah. I was a part of teams that had potential and honestly did some good things. I was a Cotton Bowl team, 11-2, had a good season. But we felt like that unit, I'll speak collectively, we felt like we had enough talent to go compete for a Big Ten championship and to go win a national championship. And not that the Cotton Bowl is bad, but we didn't live up to the potential like we talked about. So, Zane, I'm going to ask you, what does it take on a day-by-day basis to keep pushing to actually go realize that potential?
I'll just say over time, when you're hanging out with your brothers, you constantly remind each other why we're doing this. And then that kind of gives you an idea like what we need to do and what we need to do to take the next step. So, like as a D-line, for example, every day we come in, we just look at each other like, man, you one heck of a player, you know what I'm saying? Then you understand that. And then we look around the room, like we got a lot of guys in this room, so it'll be a shame for us to waste his talent. So we go hard every day to try to maximize that.
Coach Franklin said something I thought was actually really good in his press conference where he said, they asked him about Northwestern and having less fans. And you just played in the whiteout, so it's not going to be as exciting for the players. To be a group that's internally motivated and not externally motivated, and to rely on your teammates and your brothers and your coaches to give you that juice, all the while keeping in mind the ultimate goal that allows you to be internally motivated is a special thing. I think that's what the great teams do.
No, I completely agree, man. And with that start we had at Northwestern, people say it was a slow start and all that. I mean, there's factors that go into it. Like it's actually an 11 a.m. kickoff, not a 12 p.m. kickoff because of the timing and all that stuff. But I think the beauty of that win was we found a way to win and found a way to win dominantly in the second half because you have to find different ways to win, especially in the Big Ten. What's more gritty than a Penn State Northwestern 12 p.m. kickoff, gritty trench warfare game? That's Big Ten football. 10-10 at halftime. That's Big Ten football. That's what's different than the Big Ten isn't one of those like high gun, run and gun, 52 versus 49 game. You play gritty games like that. Yep. And you have to, and for us as a team, like what we're trying to get to, you have to play and experience games like that where you don't get what you want at the beginning. You don't just get to blow guys out, like blow teams out at the beginning. Like you need to experience how can you overcome adaptations as an offense. Maybe this happens with defense. Defense doesn't start hot. But how is the offense going to back them up? You need to have those experiences if you really want to be a championship team. We need to learn how to win. And Coach Franklin said, what did he say? Coach Franklin said after the Illinois game, said, you don't need to lose in order to learn how to win. You need to learn how to not lose in order to win sometimes. Yep. So it goes hand in hand.
And then to go win in a variety of different ways. Sometimes it's the offense being hot. Maybe it's Nick Singleton and Katron Allen being on. The defense. There are so many different ways when I look at your guys' roster that you can go win a football game. Yeah. And I think for the fan, it's not to play devil's advocate here, but their thinking is there's so much damn talent on this roster, like it should always be an easy dub. And like you said, the Big Ten isn't like that. It's not like that. You got to and we talked about this a couple episodes ago. Just because the name on the jersey, you look at them, you think, oh, it's Northwestern. They're going to smoke them. They're going to kill them. Northwestern just had a 21-point comeback victory a week ago. Yeah. They done fought through the adversity of losing their coach. They are probably tight-knit as a team. They know how they're battle-tested. It's them versus the world. They weren't going to just let y'all walk into the stadium and just do whatever, And like you said, you find a way to go have a dominant second half. You make adjustments offensively, defensively to continue that dominance and find a way to win, to me is an indicator of a great team and a team that knows how to make the adjustments necessary and battle through some adversity.
and we're looking, us as a team, we're trying to separate ourselves from other teams. Like, what makes us different? And Zane, as a player, what makes you different? What do you think separates you from other guys that makes you successful on the field?
Honestly, my mindset, just to start off, everything I go about, I feel like I'm the best at what I do. So until I'm proven otherwise, I don't believe nobody's better than me. You got to show me consistently that you're better than me. You might beat me one play, but the next play, I'm going to get you right back. You know what I'm saying? So I think my mindset helps me. And then, obviously, my physical asset, me being a 6'1" tackle that's explosive, quick, and twitchy, helps me also on the inside.
Where do you think that mindset came from when you were growing up?
Yeah, I just always had that chip on my shoulder. Playing in Florida, it's a lot of talent down there, and everybody think they're the man. So they come up out of there, you have to play with a little chip on your shoulder and feel like you're the best at what you do.
And Jerry, what would you say? Would you say your mindset is also this differential? What do you think makes you different?
For me, I just try to use my size and also my mindset too, especially in the pass game. Like, I feel like I can't be stopped in the red zone. That's just something that's just me personally. I have been like that my whole career. Something that I want to do is just get more dominant in the run game. I want to be a fierce tight end in the run game. I want people to respect me. So that's just something I'm just trying to get better on and keep growing at. This is like a mindset thing, just having that mindset that I want to punish you and I will punish you. So that's something I'm just trying to continue to build on.
Notice the recurring theme that everyone is saying mindset, that their mindset is they want to destroy the guy in front of them.
That's the biggest thing in football.
When we're in there in the trenches, that's everyone's mindset. Yeah. So there's no such thing as not giving it your all every play. Oh, this guy took a play off. This guy didn't take no play off, man.
You can't take a play off.
You can do it. Or you get somebody hurt. That's the difference with football, I think, sometimes is another sport, you mess around, you're not going full speed. What happens? Another team scores a point on you or something happens. Man, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do on a certain play. I'm taking a play off. Someone's hurt. Someone's getting hurt on the field. Someone's leaving the field on a stretcher or something like that. And I think that's what brings us so close. Like this team we talked about is we understand what can happen in this game. Is you need to be your brother's keeper. You need to know what you're doing next to you because someone could really get hurt. And that's the risk we take playing this game. But the reward is so high, man.
It is. And there's a lot of risk to it. But I'm telling you, man, there's zero like putting your helmet on, tighten that thing up, and being in that locker room about to come out and looking around and you got 85, 100 dudes with you who are battle tested. They were up with you at 4:15 in February when everybody was asleep and nobody was thinking about football. And you know who you got with you. Yeah. And the confidence that comes with that and knowing that you got a bunch of guys around you who are willing to take it there on account of you is special, man. It's not like that everywhere. No. It's not like that. What would you say your differentiating factor is?
Man, I would just say mine is probably being reliable. I think my guys on the O-line would attest to it and I think y'all would too, that if y'all plug me in any position that I'm at, I'm going to give you 100% of what I have. I'm going to know exactly what I'm supposed to be doing from a playbook standpoint. But at the end of the day, I'm not playing for myself. I'm playing for others. I'm playing for my family at home to make sure they're taken care of. I'm playing to set them up future. I'm playing to take care of the guy to the left and the right of me, make sure they get their goals, make sure they're protected. And I'm playing for the guys behind me, man. I want to make sure my running back, my quarterback are well protected. So I think, I guess the two-part of that is I want to be reliable. I'm a reliable guy when you plug me in, but most importantly, I think sacrifice for me because I know that when I play, I'm not just playing for myself and for my last name. I'm playing for everybody in the program and all their hopes and dreams.
Yeah. The higher you climb, in football specifically, the smaller of a gap you get from a pure physical talent perspective. There's not a big difference between the ones and even the threes sometimes, just from a raw talent perspective. The differentiator for most guys is consistency, it's reliability, it's who's going to show up every play. We know what we're going to get out of this guy. And for the young recruits who watch this show, that is a way that you can guarantee yourself at least some semblance of success. Yeah. And if you're a guy who says you want to go play in the NFL, you want to go accomplish these things, being consistent and being reliable on that level almost guarantees you at least a look and opportunity if that baseline talent level is there.
Put it in perspective for him. 53-man roster in the NFL. That's not a lot of guys. Look at your high school team right now. How many guys are on the sideline of your high school team? How many guys are probably not getting in? So what is your role that you're going to get in the game?
Yep.
Most guys, it's special teams.
Yep. And let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Because young players don't, it's a trend. It's a terrible trend where young players don't want to take special teams seriously. They don't want to go on there. They don't want to play hard. Then they get to college. They don't know how to do it. And then they're too lazy to go figure out how to play special teams consistently. An example I'll give you, Jonathan Sutherland. is he was a good linebacker, but he was a great special teamer. Dan Chisena, were you here with him?
No, I wasn't.
So
but I know
Dan
he is.
Chisena, 2019, was a wide receiver. Really didn't play much as a receiver, but he was one of the most electric gunners I had ever seen. And Dan's played like 3 years in the NFL as a gunner because he took the time and decided that he was going to go give his best effort on specials.
That's how we get our shot, man. That's how I got on the field. Because I knew I wanted to be on the field somehow, some way. And realistically, I wasn't ready to be on the offensive side of the ball yet. I really wasn't. They put me in the game. I wasn't ready. But I could do field goal and I could do punt. And that's still what I do well. And I try to excel in that role because I understand that later on, whatever my role is going to be, if it's in the NFL or if it's just on this team, like that's where I can help the team out because I know that's what I know my role. I know what I'm supposed to do. And I know I can make the guys around me better. Yeah. And I think you two as well, coming in, like when you're not seeing where you like yourself on the depth chart, then we're in that SWAT meeting and you're seeing, okay, now I have a chance to play on this SWAT.
Yep. It keeps guys locked in.
Definitely.
And it comes down to the theme of control the controllable. Your attitude, your effort, your willingness to learn a new spot on special teams and to compete. Those are all things that are controllable. And it's just like the core values. All of those things are controllable. There's going to be things in different situations that come with playing a physical game, a violent game, whether it's injuries or talent in front of you that may prohibit you from quick success. But what I've seen, and almost all the guys I know that play in the NFL and play at a high level in the NFL have one similar characteristic amongst all of them, is that they know how to control the controllable. They show up, they work, they're stretching before practice, they're in their film religiously. All of those things have allowed them to find the success that they have.
Yeah.
Do you have a guy, an old guy, and I'm not asking this as a joke, and I don't want you to give me as an answer, but an old guy that you looked to when you first got to school on the defensive line or even on the defensive side of the football that you shaped the way you prepare and you molded that based off of what you saw them doing?
Not really. One guy that I did used to look up to was PJ. He was a huge leader for us on the insides, D tackles. So I kind of looked up to PJ and Hakeem. Those two for me were like kind of helped me become the player that I am today.
Yeah, PJ is a guy, man. We joke about PJ on the show, and me and Doc live with him. PJ will be the best man at my wedding, but that dude, you know, I was in his class as a D tackle. Doc. I had to break that news to Doc eventually, man. But anyway, PJ, you know, I was in his class as a D tackle. It was me, him, and Judge Culpepper. So we were competing every day when we were young guys, especially trying to get on the field, figure those things out. One thing you can't say about PJ Mustipher is that he did not control everything he could. He was always, from a young guy, we conditioned as a D-line, PJ Mustipher was in the front. He was being a leader. He was being vocal. His grades were good. He was on time to places. And that was a factor that allowed him not only to be successful on the field, but it led to him being a 2 or 3 year captain. I don't remember which one it was, but he was a guy that had respect from a young age because people knew what they were getting from P. Yeah. Last question for you. Actually, you know, before I ask that, is there anything you feel like we should be talking about, asking you about right now that we haven't? Jerry, is there anything we should be asking this man? Either one of you.
What was your welcoming moment in college?
Welcome to college football.
What was your craziest, most awkward moment in college? Like, you know, just something that caught you off guard. Your welcoming moment.
Yeah, my welcome moment was my first spring practice. We had on shell spiders. We was going half line, skelly. I did a spin move, I think on Sounds. Golden was at center.
Oh, Lord.
You spun into the...
Yep, and yeah, you know what I'm saying? I ended up on my backside, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it was what it was.
Half-line Skelly, man. That was my welcome moment. Welcome to college football moment, too. I hit an inside move on Connor McGovern, who I think is the starting right guard for the Buffalo Bills now. And I didn't know who he was. So I went in there willy-nilly. I thought he was just a fat kid. Yeah. Punched me in my chest so hard, dog. Landed on my rear end, scooted twice. Yeah, man. It was literally my first rep ever in Penn State football. Yeah, and I thought it couldn't get any worse, and I was wrong.
Are you wrong?
Yeah. It's all right, though.
What was your worst moment in college football, do you think?
The singular worst?
Yeah,
I'll tell the story.
Football.
So, Lions Pride is basically board drill for the people back home. It's different from Lions Den. Lions Den, there's multiple people in there. It's like Oklahoma drill. Lions Pride is one-on-one. It's a shoving match, okay? Winner take all. I had lost a bunch of weight my freshman year. I was coming down and then coming back up trying to build up. So I'm like 255, so I'm getting matched up with tight ends. We had a kid here named Zach Kuntz who ended up having a good college career and now is competing to make an NFL team, ended up being a good player, but he wasn't super duper respected as a physical player when we got here. We get the Lions pride, dog. Zach beat me like probably 11 times in a row. Like I'm losing to a tight end. I'm a D tackle. It got so bad. Coach Franklin looked at me and asked, he was like, you want me to match you up with a wide receiver? What do you want me to do for you? Like, I can't help you any more than this. Like, you got to figure it out. I go up, I meet with the D-line coach. I meet with our GA. They're like, yo, we're going to fix your stance. Don't trip. Fix it. Say, this is how I want you to line up. Change your feet this way. So I change my feet. I'm in there confident. When I tell you, this man, we both get off on the ball. Dog took me out of the circle, man. Like, I didn't go down, but I got taken out the circle, bro. And I remember, like, you ever get beat so bad that you're not even, like, you're not yelling and pissed. Like, I just, like, unhooked my helmet a little bit.
As in, don't even talk to me for the rest of the day.
Say nothing.
I'm like, man. And I just kind of jogged the individual drill. Nobody would look at me. I'm like, yeah, that's probably not a good deal right there. That's life, though, you know? How you going to respond? So what now? What as I say?
How did you respond?
I medically retired. Went ahead and got done. We moved on to the business side. Man. Appreciate you guys tuning into the Lions Den. Zane, appreciate you joining us as always. Stay tuned for future episodes. We'll keep bringing on the best talent Penn State football has to offer with State Media to bring you the best Penn State coverage that is out there. Be sure to check out our merch, man. Link in the bio, or link in the description below, rather. Get a hoodie, man. Nick Dawkins, I'm having a hard time holding him off. He's going to choke slam somebody eventually.
Playing around anymore. I'll come and find you. And we read the comments. We appreciate your feedback.
Yes.
But cop the merch. Cop the merch. I don't want to come and find you.
Don't want Doc to have to come find you. Stay tuned. We'll be back next week.